Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 962, our solve count. We were here over in size separation, 5 more to do. There's this guy around here that I just could not see the answer for, so that'll be one that we end on, I imagine. We got 6, 6, 6, and 7. So let's start with... Oh, this is going to be the things I hate, isn't it? I can tell by the image that I'm looking at there. No, it's not. Okay, it's rose windows. In which case, we can start with some lines, for sure. Start with what we know. So, neighbouring regions must have different areas. So, the first thing we know is this is going to be a 1-3 in one of those two directions. And this here is going to be a 1-3 in whatever the opposition is. So if this is the 1, that has to do that. If this is the 1, then that has to do that. That can't do that because... Okay, that's a great start. So that's 1. So this can't be 1. It could be 2, it can't be 3, it could be 4. This could be 1, could be 2, can't be 3. So this is ambiguous to this. This is ambiguous to this, which is tough. This can't be... This has to be a 1, because it can't be a 2. And it can't be a 3. I hope. Everywhere must have at least 1 rose. So this must have a rose, which means it must have that 1. And that must become at least 4. That's got to be a... doesn't have to be a 2. Could be a 1. Then this can't be a 1. Has to be at least a 2. That could be a 1. I'm worried about this being difficulty 6 and where I'm going to get hung up on this. This is exactly a 1 or a 2. This is exactly a 1 or a 2, but they can't both be, so... this and this are kind of 1-2... polar pairs. So if this is the 2, this is the 1. If this is the 2, this is a 1. So I'm gonna link those as well. And what else do we have going on? This is a section of 5. And they're on opposing edges. This can't be a 4. It can't be a 3 and a 2. Oh no, this could go longer. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just going to keep making more notes because on a difficulty 6 puzzle, more notes is better. So at most... this could be a 1, or a 2, or a 3. Can't be a 4. So it could be a 1, it could be a 2, it could be a 3. Does that make sense? Now, this can't be a 4 going the other way. So it can't be the 1. So this can be a 2 or a 3 going to here or to here. And then this has to either be a 2 or a 3 going to here or to here. So that works as an ambiguous pair as well. Unfortunately, that doesn't tell us anything about this guy, other than whatever this isn't. So this and this are in a 2-3 ambiguity pair. Tell me, is this making any sense to you guys? Because it makes sense as I'm thinking it, but then I say it and I make the notes and it begins to all just turn to mush. But what that does teach us, that was all worth doing, because what that means is that this and this will be a 2 and a 3 respectively at some point, which means this can't be a 1. Sorry, this can be a 1, but it can't be a 2, it can't be a 3, it could be a 4, which means this has to be a 1-4 pair. Okay, that means this has to be a 1-3 pair. Hold on. His brain is doing something here. This is tougher because there's 3 within the known gap. We have other gaps with doubles? Not really. So that's a 2-3 pair. And if this is 2, this is 3, this is 2. This is a 1-4 pair, this is a 1-3 pair. That's all fine. This is a 2 or a 4. This is a 1 or a 2. This is a 1-2 pair, is how I'm reading that. But then what do we do next? Well, if this is a 1-3 pair, this tile is part of a 3, and this tile is part of a 3, which means this cannot be a 3. That tells us something. At most... Oh, okay. Hold on. It could be a 4 through that. It could be a 4. It could be a 4 through that as well. It could be a 3, but it can't be 3. It could be 2 or 1. So that's the options for that cell. It can't be a 1 because it needs to have a flower. So that is a 4 or a 2, because the 2 tiles that touch it are 1 and 3. What else do we have? What else do we have? If it's a 2, it's obviously taking this one. If it's a 4, it could take either. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 option from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This could be a 1 or a 2, which means this is now within this 1-2 binary trade-off. So if this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 1. If this is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 2. Now, part of me, knowing that that is true, wants to just bifurcate and go, okay, 2, 1, 2, and see if I can't start making headway until I'm proven wrong. But let's not do that. But I will make that green to go with that green set there. What else do we know? We've got the 2-3 triplicate, the 1-2 triplicate. This is 1-2 because it can't be 3. And that's a 2-4 because it can't be 3. If this is 4, then this has to be... Hold on. Hold on. He's having a thought. Let's try and get the thought out correctly. If this is 4, this can't be a 4, it can't be a 3. It would need to be a 2 or a 1. If it's a 2, this would have to be a 1, but that cell is left out. Therefore, it can't be a 3. It can't be a 1, because that can't be a 3 either. So, that has to be a 2. It can't be a 4. If that's a 2, then this is a 3. Don't get rid of that note yet. That's got to be a 3. That's got to be a 2. That's got to be a 3. That's something, for sure. Which means, I think... Is that black dot actually on the game? It is. It looks really out of place. Oh, is it my note? Yeah, that's why. That means this can't be a 3. That has to be a 4 or a 5. Because it can't be a 2. It can't be 1s. So this is 4, 5 ambiguous to here. But this was 2, 4 ambiguous. And it can't be a 4. How are you? Yeah, you were 2, 4 ambiguous because this is 1, 3 ambiguous. But yeah, you could have done this. Which I think means this can't be... This I should have seen earlier, I think. This can't ever be 2 because that would have to be 2 as well. So I think this has to be a 4. Right? It's all slowly coming to me. This is confined as 4, which has to be a 1-3 pair. If there's 1 on the ends, the 2 in the center have to be part of the 3 group. That means that this has to be part of either a 2 or a 4. I think at the time I didn't know about this coloration here. And it can't be that 4. But it can't be that 2 and that 2. It can't be that 2 and that 3. So, I think what that means is this has to be a 5. And this is a 1. Because then this can't be a 3 because of this. Let's just keep making notes. This could be a 1, 2, 3. It can't be a 3 because it's touching a 3. So this could be a 1 or a 2. Because it can't be part of a 4. If it's part of a 2, that would have to be part of a 3, but it's touching a 3. So that's a 1. And that's a 4. Can't be a 4. Can't be. Oh no, this is a 5, yeah. So that's a 1, that's a 4, that's a 5. So that's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's a 1. Now, that tells us that this is the 1, that's the 4, because it's touching this 4. That means that's the 3, that's the 1, because it's touching that 1. If this logic is sound, which so far I feel good about it, it's all working nicely. So, next. Where do we go? Where do we go? There's not too much left. Can't be too bad. This can no longer be a 4. It also can't be a 1. So it's a 2 or a 3. Which means this is part of a 2 or a 3. And this might be part of a 3. It could be a 4, couldn't it? No, it can't be a 4 because of that. It can't be a 1 because of that. So this belongs to a 2 or a 3, which means that belongs to a 2 or a 3, which means that might belong to a 3. It might belong to something else. But this here can't be. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be on the 5. Can't be on the 4. It can't be. It could be on a 2-3 bifurcation. Or it could be a 1. What else do we know? I mean, with this 1-2 left over for the line of what we don't know, which is this line, we could probably just bifurcate this out and go 2, 1, 2, 1, 4 doesn't work. Can't be 2, 3 doesn't work. Could be 3, 2, 1, 4, 1, 1, 5. There you go. I feel like I did enough of the legwork to make the little bifurcation at the end not terrible. Okay, so we've got the 6 on the pedestal, this 6, size separation maximum 3, area number, size separation range 3 to 5, polyominoes, and then the 7 is just shape bank size separation, which feels like it should be simpler, but I've been beaten down by those before. Let's try this guy. First of all, 1, 1, 1, 1. Max 3, area number, size separation. Now, my brain is thinking about this, and it's probably not that fun, but very useful. If we were to fill all the cells with 1, 2, 3, I know this can't be a 1. I know it can't be a 2, because if it was 2, it would touch that one. So this is a 3. And then we do that for like a bunch of the cells all at once to start seeing what limitations are on what. But I don't know if it's really realistic to go 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so on and so on and so forth, you know? I will just put 3 in there, because why not? Okay. Here's something. This 2 is taking either this or this, which means this is a 1, 3. Doesn't tell me lots though, does it? If that 2 goes down, this 2 can't go right, but that doesn't tell me too much either. This is 2, 3. All right, you know what? On all these defined ones, let's do 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, I feel like this is a good compromise to the thought process I was speculating on before. Right, that's all the defined numbers off of ones. Now, this 3 has to get out to somewhere. This section here, like, it has to be a chain of kind of 2s and 3s that alter off, or I guess it could all be 3s. No, it can't all be, because if that was a 3, okay, there's a great start. That's a 2. Can't go that way because it would chain with that, so that's a 2. Boom. Progress. 2. So this is now a 1, 3. And this is a 3. Now, these 2 3s can't meet in the middle. So that can't come down. So that's got to go that way. That's a 3. All right, I'm feeling better about this now. Which means that's a 2. And that's a 2. Which means that 2 must go that way to stop it blocking in that. I wish I could, and I don't think it exists. But I'm always using coloring borders and notes. But is there a hotkey for those? Choose color, click and drag, right click, shift click, middle click, scroll wheel. I didn't realize I could do that with middle click, amazingly. But I just want spacebar to swap me between notes and coloring and borders, because I never need coloring or borders separately. Because I can do tab, but then I have to go all the way through 4, and that's just annoying. I just want spacebar to hot switch me between the 2. But that's by the by. This is now a 1 or a 2. Any more that we have? This 2 is confirmed a 2. We know that. It doesn't go left because it would touch that. So that's a 2. Which means this is a 1, 3, and this is a 1, 3. This isn't feeling too bad. For a 6, especially. Smoother than the last one. This is 2, 2, 2. So this is now a 1 or a 3 locked in. Going up possibly that way. That 2 can't go up because we know this is a 1, 3. So this 2 has to go to the left. That's fun. Which means this is a 3. And this is a 3. How those 3s get around, we don't know. But they are what they are. This can't be a 2. Because it can't come down to there. Oh, it could go up to there. Yeah. Okay. Not so eager on that one. That has to be a line. Two, 2, 2, 1, 3. 1, 3. If this has to be a 3, it can't be a 1 or a 2. Can't do... Oh, hello. That can't be a 3. Okay, good. So that's a 1. Goody. So that can't be... This is a 2. Going with that. Now, it could be 1 and 3. Or it could be 3 and 1. It's going to matter over here how that resolves. 25 left. I don't think that impacts us greatly. Where can we go next? Questions. Well, start writing stuff out then. This is a 1 or a 3. With this being a 2, it doesn't really help. This is a 2. So this is a 1-3. So this 2 is going left or down. It has the scope to do all of that. But this can't be a 2. This is currently a 2-3. I guess it could go that way. Yeah. Okay. Ha. As Minecraft villagers would say. There's got to be somewhere that something can't get to, right? This is a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. But that has to be a 3. So that could be a 2. 3, 1. 3. 2. 2. 1. No. Alright, that is just me colouring in, isn't it? But I don't see the move. This could be a 2. 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. 1, 3, 1, 3. If this is 2 left... Okay, if this is 2 left, that has to be 2 up. That has to be 3, 1, 3, 3. That would have to be 3, 1, 3. Then that goes 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Nope. 1, 3. Oh, okay, we got there. Alright, again, we did enough of the legwork early to get the last little bit done. Pretty one, that. So, still 3? Oh, yeah, we got this guy who irks me. Do we dare try and do another 6 right now? Depends on if I think I can find the inn at all. Size separation range 3 to 5 polyominoes. All the polyominoes are 5s. So with like this guy, I think it has to be that. Because any other version leaves it touching another 5. So, it's not a bad start. If indeed that is correct. Oh, it could be that, but then that shape can't be built. So I feel good about that, which means that would have to be that. And that would be that. It's leaving a nice one gap border around everything. That could do this, but that leaves a 2, which is not valid. So how can we flip or rotate this? Could be that. Can't be that way. Can't be this because that leaves the 1 there. Okay. Got there. So can't do that because that's 2 5s touching. Can't do that because it leaves a 1 there. There must be some other way we can do this shape that I'm not currently observing well. Right, we can't touch this shape, or this tile, this tile, this tile. We can't do it that way. We can't touch this tile or this tile. We can't use those tiles. Or this, or this. We can't do it that way and leave the 2. It's one where I really wish I could, like, pick up this piece and rotate the image on the board just to help me visualize where it can and can't go. Can't do it that way because it leaves the 1. Can't do it that way. Unless this T isn't correct. There is entirely that possibility, I guess. So it is very easy to rework this out. So this guy, there was this option. That can't go. That can't go. That can't go. That can't go. In fact, we could do... we make red. So, red, red, red. Red, red, red. That helps visualize it so much more. When you go, oh, we can't touch any of those other tiles. It must just be that. Right? And then if we make that green and then go, okay, now we have to put this in, but we can't touch those. And so that is the only other way it can go, right? I believe. And then if we go red, 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 red. Get rid of that for a second. So how can this T go? We had it that way, I think. Are there any other options? We can't do it that way. Either this is part of the stem or it's part of the cross. If it's part of the stem, that's the only way it can go. So I think this is right. I think that's that. Which means that guy has to fit in somewhere. In this spot. Which I just can't tessellate it around in my head. Oh, could it be? Hold on. No, it can't be that. So we can't use... No. Okay, it can't be that because we can't leave that one as a single. Gosh, why can't I see how this thing can go? Also, put a box around that. It can't be that because we can't leave that block there. That can't go up that way. Can't go that way. Is it that? That looks good. Okay, from there, red marker. Can't touch this, 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 this. Oh, don't do that. We can't do that. Hold on. Right. This red colouring is not working anymore for me. Can't touch here. Can't touch here. Can't touch here. Can't touch here. Or here. Or here. Which leaves us, I think, with this. I believe. It must be. It must be that. And then that leaves us with none of this available. And so, well, I could have done this one way earlier because that can't go up touching this and it can't go down. So that was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the get-go, which means all of that is black and that is black as well. Black and red, of course, at the moment, basically the same thing. Now, this is black, this is black, this is black, and this is black. So I think that, well, it leaves this or this. So this feels like it's a lot more flexible, really, doesn't it? But here's the thing. We can't have this and this be the same group on both sides of that line. Yeah, so that can't get out to anywhere. So that means it does have to be that one, I believe. So we can't touch that cell or that cell. And also any of these for our W. Now, before I do that W, I'm going to think about this X a second. Because I think that X is going to be easier to plant down. I'm going to go back to reds now that we've got some open space. So, this X can only exist here, I believe. It can't come down, it can't go left, it can't go up, and it can't go right. So with that done, we can now add the red around that. Now here's my worry. For range 3 to 5, ignore those. Range 3 to 5, this needs colouring. Okay, yeah, that's going to be red. Red, 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 red. That leaves that as an option. However, that doesn't work because we can't do this as a region, which fills me with dread after all the logic we've gone through to get here. Because even if we ignore the bottom half of the puzzle here, and we just restart this section, this guy can't go down to end up touching that, can't do that, has to do this. That's a real given. So after that, this becomes reds. Was there somewhere else this could have been the whole time? These are reds. These are reds. And so I think that's a fixed green. And so these two just become a tiny little jigsaw based around kind of this limit, because this is the only area that they can exist within. I just have to figure out how to put these two pieces in this space. And we can't do it with any of that, or that, or that, or that, or that. And that's confusing me, because that would suggest that can only do that. If that comes to where it is. So, green, green. Is there some other way I could put that down that I'm missing? Because that can't go leaving this on range 3 to 5. But unless I'm missing something incredibly obvious, I don't see another line it can take. But it can't leave that. And that's fixed and this is fixed. I can't do that through those lines. Can't do that. Again, this cross is fixed. Can't come over it, would be touching that. If you slide it right, if you slide it left, if you slide it down, it's so fixed in there. And this guy can't run straight down, can't run straight up, so that's fixed. I can't see how I make these two fit. Can't go that way. Can't use those. Can't use those. Just leaves that. Why can I not see some other way to make this fit for range 3 to 5 that works? Am I going completely mad? Can't go down. Can't do that. Can't do that. But we can't do that. Oh. There you go. Why didn't I think of that before? Okay, then it's just these guys. Thank God we figured that out. So red, 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 red. I have to imagine that's good, because that leaves a 3 there. Then that can't go there, that can't go there. That can go there, and there. Then all I have to do is fill out the rest of the spaces with 3s, 4s, and 5s. So there's a 3, there's a 3. Let's get off this color scheme. There's a 3, there's a 3. There's a 4. Three, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Oh, it has to be 3s and 4s because we can't do with 5s because everything else is 5s, of course. 4, 3, 3 doesn't go. Right, let me restart that thought, knowing it's only 3s and 4s. Well, okay, this is probably a good place to start because this has to go 1, 2, 3. Can't go to there, can't leave a 1, so that's the 4. 1, 2, 3. Then this is part of a 4. But where does that 4 end up? 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4. Happy with that. And then we don't have the same luxury of a fixed line trying to drag me out. Well, we kind of have it here in this dead end, because if this is a 4, we can't leave a 2. So that has to be a 3 and a 4 and a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4. Nice. Apart from not seeing this little W move up here, great puzzle. I mean, the puzzle was great regardless, but that was my one little foible. And then there's this thing. All regions must be one of these 4 shapes, and neighboring regions must have different shapes. So it's 9 groups of 9 built in who knows how many different ways. And it's like, where is the thing that has the most limitation? Like, this can't be a 1. It could be that, or it could be that. So that has ambiguity on it, or it could be that. There's going to be some real tough logic, I think, to pick out how this is going to begin. Although now my brain wants to just go, this is 1, 2, 3 on that, just because of how limited this one is. Well, that's 2 and 2 for sure. That can't be 2. So one of them has to be 3. Whether it's that way or that way. I think that's true. Because neither of these can be the 2 larger pieces. So one of these is a 2, one of these is a 3. Whichever way that goes, what's left is this. And so this is left ambiguous. But this is a 4. And so that 4 that we do know tells us some things about the cells that are around it, I'm sure. Do I want to get into this now? If this is going to take me like a half hour, we're going to be here for way too long. So we'll leave that tiny little notion there for next time. And then also, there's this thing. God damn this thing. 12, 13, 12. But we can't have things touch. Can't have the 13s touch on borders. Is the whole shtick. Right, we'll do this for 9 minutes up to the hour and see how we go. So obviously that's our start. We need to find a way to get... I think the real trick here is this is 15 with 13s. There's 2 uncolored here and 2 uncolored here. And we have to have at least 3 of these uncolored. I think. There's also this tile which touches both sides, which I think just would make most sense for this to be empty. Because then this can be colored and this can be colored. If this is empty, that can be colored. Which means this would be empty. $11. So we can't have all of these 3 full because we can't go... That's only 12, and so we need one of these to be empty here. $11, $12... Now that gets to 13, 13, and 13, but the problem we have is these 2 ones that touch. That's the real killer part of this puzzle. I think this has to be empty, because if it's not, then this and this have to be that way round, and that seems terrible. So I'm pretty sure this one has to be empty. That's now 14, 13, 12. $13, $13, $13. Is that it? Hold on. Oh, these 2 13s touch through the wall. I'm so mad. Those 2 13s were touching through there. God damn it. 13, 12... 13, 12. Yeah, no, I can't see what it is I'm supposed to do to make this work. We've just got these really awkward border sections. My brain can't do it. I can't see what I'm supposed to do to make any progress on that. So, a story for another day for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.